Hello, and welcome to my operator guide for Alibi. This is one of a series of short videos that will help you get the most out of each operator in Rainbow Six Siege. Alibi is a 1-armor, 3-speed defending operator from the Italian Gruppo di Intervento Speciale CTU. She is a versatile operator that can roam or remain close to the objective to take advantage of her primary gadget. Her weapons are on the weaker side and require skill to use effectively, but her loadout does offer a lot of scope for setting up a solid defense depending on the objective. Alibi's unique gadget is the Prisma hologram. She has 3 of these, and once deployed, they create a holographic decoy that resembles Alibi at a distance, but on closer inspection, they are of a far lower quality than her in-game character model. The holograms will always appear in the same standing pose with her default skins and have no sights or attachments on their weapon model. For this reason, it is actually a slight advantage for Alibi to use her default weapon skin and uniform. If an attacking player shoots or walks through one of the holograms, their location will be pinged every second for 5 seconds. All defenders can see this ping, which allows them to locate the attacker in question. In addition, if a drone or grenade passes through a Prisma, then the responsible attacker will also be marked. Prismas can be destroyed by explosives, by shooting their base, or by shocking it with Twitch's drone. The base plate can also be destroyed with a melee attack if you feel like it. Prismas will disappear if a player stands on the base plate, but will reappear when the player moves away. This is to prevent defenders from using the Prismas as a hiding spot, although Alibi herself can use this particular feature to her advantage. More on that later. On the screen now is how I personally run Alibi. I use her MX4 Storm as her primary weapon in almost all cases. It has very low damage and is a relatively weak SMG, but it has a fairly high fire rate and reasonable accuracy, which makes it workable in most situations. I use the flash hider, holographic sight, and vertical grip for maximum recoil control. Like Maestro, her alternate primary weapon is the ACS-12 automatic shotgun. This shotgun is the most destructive in the game and can reduce a destructible wall to dust in seconds. This is extremely useful for setting up a defense and removing portions of wall, floors, and hatches. However, it has a very limited range and is almost impossible to control, and as such, is not a very viable weapon to use against enemies, especially when roaming. I would only recommend this weapon if you absolutely need to destroy multiple walls during the prep phase and don't have enough impact grenades on your team. When it comes to secondary weapons, both Alibi and Maestro have access to some very unique sidearms. I tend to use the Keratos 357 pistol. This is an extremely powerful revolver which is comparable to the Desert Eagle, packing all the punch but without the ridiculous recoil. It is an excellent weapon but has a very low ammo count. Her alternate secondary weapon is the Bailiff 410 pistol, which is actually a mini revolver-style shotgun. This can be used to create small murder holes in walls and has quite a lot of utility. That said, it is very unreliable when used as a backup for your primary weapon. It also cannot score headshots on enemies, even at point-blank range. However, if you choose not to take impact grenades, this sidearm is capable of opening hatches if required. For her secondary gadget, Alibi has access to both impact grenades and a deployable shield. Both are very strong options, but I tend to go for the shield as it synergizes incredibly well with her primary gadget and can be used to block off a doorway and provide cover for a Prisma. It also stops Twitch's shock drone from entering the objective from that doorway and destroying the Prismas. Alibi's high speed and passive gadget make her an ideal candidate for roaming, but her weapons lack punch compared to a veteran roamer like Jaeger. Alibi has 2 main strategies that can be employed. The first, and most straightforward, is to deploy her gadgets in choke points surrounding the objective, before either anchoring or roaming. The second, and more risky, is to place 2 Prismas on the objective before taking the third with you while roaming. This can be actively used as a decoy while engaging attackers away from the objective. This strategy is similar to one that can be used with Ella's Grismot mines, however, this requires careful juggling of the third Prisma for it to be most effective, and you run the risk of dying with only 2 Prismas activated. For this reason, I almost always deploy all 3 decoys in and around the objective room. In terms of Prisma placement, I make sure to place them behind solid cover or in windows, which hides the base plate and prevents attackers from destroying it. You can also place them so that they hold a tight angle on a doorframe, similar to how real defenders would position themselves. This can trick attackers into shooting the Prisma, but it more often than not leaves the base plate exposed, allowing an attacker to quickly shoot it before repositioning. Another advantage of placing a Prisma in a window is that attackers will have no choice but to pass through it if they vault in through that window, which will reveal their position while they are trying to push the objective. This makes Alibi very useful when countering last-second pushes. A final trick that Alibi can pull off is the bait and switch. This can be great fun, but is extremely risky and not worth attempting in a ranked match. This of course involves placing a Prisma in a window or doorway, waiting for attackers to shoot it, and then, while the attacker is taking cover, move in to take the place of the Prisma. When the attacker reappears, they will assume you are a harmless hologram, presenting an opportunity for you to catch them off guard. Veteran players will likely never fall for this trick, but it can be tried out in casual if you just want to have a bit of fun. Alibi works extremely well in combination with Frost, as her Prismas can be placed on top of Frost's welcome mats. Combined with barbed wire and a deployable shield, it will make it very difficult for attackers to see the welcome mat. Jaeger also helps hugely, as he can prevent grenades from destroying Alibi's Prismas. Alibi can be soft-countered by Thatcher, who can temporarily disable Prismas with his EMP grenades. They will disappear for a few seconds before reappearing as normal. The main hard counter to Alibi is Twitch, who can destroy the Prisma baseplate with her shock drone. Prismas are also countered by any operator with frag grenades and are especially vulnerable to both Ash and Zofia, whose grenade launchers can destroy not only Prisma baseplates, but deployable shields and welcome mats as well, often with just one grenade. Alibi is, at the time of recording, my top performing defender, and she is very rewarding to use. She can help to anchor an objective with her gadget while roaming simultaneously. Her loadout options permit a variety of defensive setups, and while her weaponry is a little underwhelming, she is a well-rounded operator who is useful on virtually every objective on every map. Even if veteran players won't fall for her decoys as often as novice players, they can still obstruct attackers' routes into the objective and give defenders an advantage in the final seconds of a round. That concludes my operator guide for Alibi, and I hope you have learned some new tricks that you can use. Comment below and let me know which operator you would like me to cover in my next video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.